Welcome to the space for transformational leaders to unleash their magic, see better client results, work lighter, and live source. Hi, Darla here. Welcome to Shift the Field TV. Today's episode is called The Shadow Without the Shame. Here at Sourced, we work with transformational leaders, clients who are working in a service-based business, and they bring deep shifts into their clients so their clients are better aligned with the results they really want. In order to do that, we say we need to see a truth that we haven't seen. And when we see a truth we haven't seen, or our clients do, or their clients do, we're able to work with it and to shift it and to transmute it into a new energy space that creates a whole new outcome. This is basically the process of transformation. And to see the truth that we haven't seen is shadow work, right? It's another way to talk about shadow work. It's what's been in the shadow, right? What we can't see is affecting us, and if we can't see it, we can't name it, and we can't work with it. Now, I've been in the field of transformation for 24 years now, and one of my early trainings, they used to speak about this idea of the bad news insight. So in the world of transformation, we see something we haven't seen, generally about the way we've been being in the world, that's been hidden from our view, that when we see it, a lot of times it seems like bad news. Like, we don't want to know that we've actually been the cause of the result we're getting. We don't want to know that there's just been some way of being that's been in the way, and maybe everybody else around us has seen it and we haven't. And we can have the instinct to feel shame about that. So I'm going to share a little bit about the framework that we teach, and you'll find this in various places on this channel, called the anatomy of a transformation. And in the anatomy, there's a specific point in a person's transformation. You can use this for yourself in your own life, by the way, as well as with your clients. There's a certain point in a person's transformation where they go like this. We call this the sourced wave, where they see what they haven't seen about why they're creating the results they are, or why those results have been a match for them until now. So in the anatomy, the first stage is commitment. We are never going to risk seeing what's in the shadow if we aren't committed to something that's greater than our fear of knowing this. So that's the first stage. The second stage we call the sourced experience. By the way, we have an event called the Sourced Experience that's all about this phase. In the sourced experience, this is where the truth comes in. So we would never just go around seeing things we haven't seen if we're not committed to something greater. And once we're committed to something greater, the universe will help us see what we haven't seen. Now, sometimes we still don't want to see it and we hide from it, but life is going to show us the hidden truth, or the shadow. So we say in this stage, there's three parts: release, receive, rise. I have a feeling this is cut off of my video, but release, receive, rise. We release control, or the perception of control, which really, keeping this in the shadow makes us feel in control. Like, as long as we don't know it, we don't have to deal with it. Release control. And then when we release control, we're willing to see this truth. We receive truth. And when we receive truth, we can work with it. And from that place, we rise in a whole new energy. And then, just to complete this, the final piece of transformation is integration. This video I called The Shadow Without the Shame. Like I said, in one of my early transformational trainings, they talked about this as a bad news insight. This truth is like shameful. Like, oh my gosh, I feel terrible to see this. I have had plenty of those, starting with the one that I discerned in that training, which was that I had this idea that I had to be smart to get love. And so that had me show up as like trying to be the smartest person in the room all the time, which I thought was a bad news insight because it's like, that's very annoying. I was very disempowering to the people on my team when I was working in corporate because of that. I didn't love seeing that about myself, and I felt shame. I felt, oh, what's wrong with me? What a horrible person I am. Oh my gosh, do people know how horrible I am? And it wasn't good. And over the years, I've had a lot of these insights about a truth that I've been operating from that's actually not true, right? It wasn't true I had to be smart to get love. I just thought it was based on experience. But operating from these little t truths that are based on a lie, but then it's impacting how we're showing up in our world. And if it's getting in the way of us getting what we want, and then we realize it, the tendency can be to feel shame. Like, how dare I think I have to be smarter? Or how dare I really be selfish like that? Whatever it might be, right? Whatever your story is. What I want to say is going into this place of seeing what we've been holding as true that maybe isn't, that's been affecting everything in our way of being in our life. What if we could see it without the shame? What if we could just go, oh, isn't that interesting? We can hold it with compassion, like, of course I created that protective mechanism. Of course I did, because it really served me when I was younger, when I was in this other situation. It served me to get where I am. And it protected me, and it protected my heart up until now. And the other is humor or levity. What if we can look at, oh, isn't it cute? Isn't it cute how my little human felt like being smart was the only path to love? And I'm saying that kind of tongue in cheek, but what if we could really look at it that way? So on our team, we have a very much a culture of truth. Like, if we make a mistake, if something goes wrong, immediately our way of being is to go, oh, what am I not seeing about that result? And then we say, oh, look at my cute little human that's humaning. Look at Darla's over there just darling. We can see truth without the shame. And for the longest time, I just thought I should be perfect. And the more I do this work, the more perfect I should be. So anytime I would see something that I hadn't seen, my immediate response would be shame. Now, you as a leader, the more you do this work with yourself and the more you see and own your truth, not the perfect version of you, but how you've actually been, how your human has been conditioned and programmed, and you can see it without judgment and really from compassion or levity, it's easier to hold space for your clients to see something similar. And when you can hold that space of compassion or levity with your clients, rather than judging what you might have thought was shameful about it, they can shift it like that. They can see it, they can love it, they can appreciate, I see how that's been true. I see how I've been working my whole life to be smart so my dad would love me. And I can see how that's limiting. And I can see how I can let that go. I'm curious what's resonating for you about this. Have you ever felt shame in revealing this hidden truth? Have you ever felt concerned that your clients would feel shame for how their human has been humaning? And so you don't want to point it out because you don't want to shame them. But what if you are masterful at going into the shadow with levity or compassion? How would that change the way you do your work in the world? I would love to hear. Let me know below this video, and we'll see you in the next episode.